Hey everybody, it's Rick Trummer from Rick Trummer Consulting and Training, and welcome to Grab Bag video number 12. This will be the end of the Grab Bag series, and we're going to be coming back to it once more questions are coming in of how do you do this, Rick, or how do you do that, Rick. We'll get that all taken care of. But yesterday in Grab Bag 11, we came across some more questions on black and white, and people were saying, have you done a video like that? Well, we actually did. It was quite a while ago. So people have asked us to redo it. So what I did yesterday is I hit 3 methods of doing black and white, and I've saved those so that we're going to be able to see the results. And then along with that, now, today I'm going to be adding 2 more methods of doing black and white. And we're going to be expounding on a little bit from yesterday, and then we're going to be moving into something completely different. So as you remember from yesterday, the first video that I did, we're going to pull these down, is I did a video by just telling you to take the image, put it into desaturate, and be done with it. And this is kind of what we got from that. The second one was going into under your mode and switching it to grayscale. So you can see these are almost absolutely identical. The one that's that we switched to grayscale is just a tidge bit better than the other one, I believe, but that's completely up to you to make that judgment call on. Then we went to a third series where we actually went in and went into the black and white filter, and we switched it up that way. And you can see we got a very, very nice black and white image there. We're going to follow up now with another series or another way of doing it. And this time what we're going to be doing is, instead of going straight to black and white, we're going to go into the hue and saturation slider first. Now what we want to do here is actually oversaturate the color toning just a little bit. Once we do that, we can also manipulate the colors we want, but I'm going to show you how this affects black and white when you get into the end series. Now let's go ahead and actually go into black and white. Now we're going to want to make sure to put the black and white on top if you haven't done that already. Now, once we do that, now we can go in and take care of the different color tones and how we're going to approach that. So I'm just going to kind of come in here and make my color adjustments. Down here, we had a nice adjustment on that back shoulder that I want put in there. And great. So I've got some nice stuff. Now, you're going, well, did we really make that much of a change? Well, if you go back down to hue and saturation, when you pump this up, you'll notice that you'll be able to pump up kind of the dynamic range of that particular image, because you're saturating and undersaturation or oversaturating the individual items itself and bringing those colors slightly up and down. So there's a nice way to be able to do this. So what you're doing is you're just going one more step and doing something a little bit different with black and white. So take a look at that compared to just the black and white filter. You can see that we've made some very, very nice color adjustments. So the last way of doing it, we're going to be taking you into what I call, it's the weirdest way of doing it, but I believe if you get it right, it's probably one of the coolest way of doing that. And that's going into something called calculations. So under the image file, we want to go under calculations, and you'll notice there's a bunch of different ways to kind of do this. But what basically is what happening is you're having a source layer that goes over a secondary layer or a source 2 layer, and then you have a bunch of blending options. Now when you go into this for the first time, this is going to be set to normal, and you're going to have red over red. And that's a way to go. But what you normally want to do is you want to put over one channel over another channel, and you normally leave the blue channel out. So you're either going to put red over green, or you're going to put green over red as far as the channel is concerned. You can switch that right here by going into your channel and switching the channels around a little bit. Now, what I did with this image is I went red over green, and then I took a blending option and I put it into lighten, and I came up with a pretty nice black and white, and I put the opacity down to 50%. Normally this is going to be at 100%, and you can kind of see what you're getting there. So what I did is I found what worked best, and I took these through all of the different options that you have by putting one over the other one. Once I found the one I liked, I went in then and I said, okay, now I can take the opacity down of the actual thing itself. Now, the crazy thing about this is you're not going to find one that works for every conversion every time. You're not going to find, you may find a series that you like, but you're not going to find something that's working every time that you do it. So it's one of those things that you have to work on a little bit. So it takes a lot more to be able to get you to come into that and do a really, really nice black and white. But when it's all said and done, it's really worth the final presentation. Once you do that, then you're going to click OK, and you want to make sure, with all of these others, you want to put your mode into grayscale, as we had talked about yesterday. So let's take a look at all of these together now. We've got a bunch of different options that you have here. You can see from yesterday we have some nice options. So let's go ahead and tile these. We're going to go into a tile configuration so that you can see all of the different ways that we've done this. So yesterday we went in, this is the first series, we went in, we actually did just moving it into desaturate. Down here we actually took it straight into grayscale. Up here then we actually took it into the black and white filter, which is very nice. This copy here on the bottom is when we actually added the secondary layer in hue and saturation. And then finally, our last one, you can see very, very nice black and white, taking it into calculations. And you can see the positives on all of these. So, folks, that's kind of a great way of doing black and white. I know for some of you that have seen my original black and white, you're going to see it all over again, but maybe I clicked on something that made it a little bit easier for you to understand this time. So I'm hoping that you really enjoyed this series on grab bag. Next week, we're going to start with something completely different. So until then, I'm Rick Trummer from Rick Trummer Consulting and Training, and I'll see you on the tube.